Jeopardy! Here are today's contestants. A writer, teacher, editor from Salem, Oregon, Magdalene Powers. A custodial facilitator from St. Louis, Missouri, Rob Severson. And our returning champion, a personal banking representative from New Bedford, Massachusetts, Chris Rodriguez, whose two-day cash winnings total $22,798. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Hi, everyone. Magdalene, obviously you and I did not get the memo that today's program would be televised in color, not black and white. Chris and Rob, okay. Back. All right, let's go to work in the Jeopardy round. Here come the clues in these categories, starting off with fictional characters, followed by 40 years of Sesame Street. It debuted in November of 1969. First names, missing links. Then we have driving along, not the interstate, but the intestate. Chris, start us.
Fictional characters for 200.
In a novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Nick's neighbor is this wealthy title bootlegger. Rob.
Who is Gatsby?
Yes.
Fictional characters 400.
Answer. Daily double. Oh, we're finding it way too soon. Way too soon. You can risk up to $1,000, though, Rob.
I guess I'll risk the full 1,000, Alex.
Okay, here's the clue. This inhabitant of 221B Baker Street had been a surgeon in the British Army.
Who is Dr. Watson?
Dr. Watson, yes. Sherlock Holmes' friend.
Let's take 600 fictional characters.
Mrs. Danvers is Maxim de Winter's sinister housekeeper at Manderley in this novel by Daphne du Maurier. Rob.
What is Rebecca?
Yes.
800 fictional.
Rhett Butler has a long-term affair with this Atlanta prostitute. In Gone with the Wind, and her name was Belle Watling. Rob?
Fictional characters, 1,000.
In a Melville work, Billy Budd's last words are, "God bless this captain." He says it just before he's hanged. God bless Captain Veer. Rob?
We'll take 40 years of Sesame Street for 600.
Turns out that this googly-eyed character has been gobbling rice cakes. Grease, oil, and chocolate are bad for Muppet fur. Chris?
Who is Oscar?
No. Magdalene?
Who is the Cookie Monster?
Cookie Monster, yes.
40 years of Sesame Street for 800.
Sesame Street is full of great songs, like this one in which Ernie explains why tubby time is the best time of the day. Chris?
What is Rubber Ducky?
Good, you're on the plus side again.
Driving along for 200.
Slow down. This state's speed limit on the interstate is 75, but only 65 once you're in an urban area like Missoula. Rob?
What is Montana?
Yeah.
Driving along 400.
By the looks, and certainly the smell of them, the herd of these we're passing are red brangus. Magdalene?
What are cows?
Yes.
Driving along for 600.
I'm starving. Good thing I see this family restaurant where I can get a Heartland scramble. Rob?
What is Denny's?
Yes.
Driving along 800.
I hate how other drivers do this elastic act when they pass an accident. Whoa, is that someone's spleen? Chris?
What is rubbernecking?
Rubbernecking, you got it.
Driving along for 1,000.
There's the familiar symbol of this chain. A good thing, because I can't keep my eyes open. Magdalene?
What is Days In?
Days In, yes, for 1,000.
Let's go with Missing Links for 200.
Seeing blank herring. Rob?
What is Red?
Red is right.
Back to Sesame Street for 1,000.
Will Lee played this store owner. In 1982, the writers incorporated his death into the show to help kids deal with loss. Magdalene?
Who is Mr. Hooper?
Mr. Hooper, another $1,000 for you.
Missing Links for 400.
Timber blank whistle. Timber wolf whistle. That's the missing link there. All right, we're going to take a break. Magdalene in the lead. We'll be back in a moment to talk to her and the fellas. Magdalene Powers is from Salem, Oregon. A woman hiked 45 minutes through a Polish forest once. Why?
To get a beer.
Why did you need to hike 45 minutes through a forest? Where were you?
We were at what turned out to be a dry hut.
Okay, did you get the beer?
We did. We got
Polish beer?
Yes, of course.
Good beer.
Yes.
Okay. Rob Severson is from St. Louis, Missouri, and he attended a Halloween affair a few years ago and went as someone you see on television.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
I went as Alex Trebek, yeah.
You have the mustache, you have the hair I used to have.
At the time, the hair and the mustache and the glasses even were all fake, actually, for the costume.
Okay, did you win a prize, I hope?
No, I did not, unfortunately.
Who won?
You know, somebody dressed as a gorilla or something.
I always lose out to the apes. I don't understand. Chris Rodriguez is our champion. Now, you once saved the life of somebody who had a heart attack. Where?
Did. Well, it was at the golf course, actually. It was a guy named Mike, who I played with in a golf league. He came in off the driving range, pale, sweaty, pulse racing. I got him in a chair. I got 2 aspirin into him, called 911. They picked him up, medevaced him to Boston, and he had a 5-valve operation that night, and he was back playing golf in 4 weeks.
Of course. Yes, once a golfer, always a golfer. Good for you. All right, let's get back into this, and Magdalene has command of the board. She makes the next selection.
Let's try first names for 200.
We kid you not. It's the first name of English pirates, Dampier and Kidd. Magdalene?
What is James?
No. Chris?
What is William?
William, yes.
First names for 400, please.
This name comes from words meaning strong ruler. It explains a certain lion-hearted king. Chris?
What is Richard?
Richard is right.
First names for 6.
This name, like that of a girl in Harry Potter, is derived from the name of Hermes, messenger of the gods. Chris?
What is Hermione?
Hermione, yeah.
Names for 8.
The perfect name for an Irish lass. It means girl in Irish. Magdalene?
What is Colleen?
Colleen, correct.
First names for 1,000.
This first name of a Jane Austen character is also that of Ethelred's queen. And that name is Emma. Sorry, Rob, not quickly enough. Magdalene, go again.
Missing links for 600.
Quick as a blank flood. Chris?
What is Flash?
Flash is right.
Links for 8.
The moment of blank serum. Rob?
What is truth?
Good.
1,000 missing links.
Disc blank for position. Chris?
What is Jockey?
That's 1,000 more for you.
The intestate for 200.
When this president died with no will, Mary got half of the over $80,000 estate, but it didn't keep her happy. Chris?
Who is Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
Intestate for 4.
In 1981, a Houston judge declared that this aviation giant had left no valid will, despite Melvin Dumar's claim. Rob?
Who is Howard Hughes?
Correct.
600 intestate.
He died in 1973 at age 91, leaving no will but millions of dollars worth of his art for his heirs to squabble over. Chris?
Who's Picasso?
Right.
Intestate for 800.
As this guitarist died in 1970 with no will, as you do at 27, his $300 million estate ended up with an adopted stepsister. Magdalene?
Who is Jimi Hendrix?
Yes.
The intestate for 1,000.
This explorer and medical missionary died intestate in Africa in 1873, but left a helpful list of his bank accounts. Magdalene?
Who's Albert Schweitzer?
No. Chris?
Who's Dr. Livingston?
Dr. Livingston, he's the one.
40 Years of Sesame Street for 2.
He created the Muppets, which were meant to be bit players when Sesame Street started. Chris?
Who is Jim Henson?
Yes, and now the last clue, and here I am with a Sesame Street favorite. This character was called Little Monster when he debuted in 1979. Muppeteer Kevin Clash gave him his trademark giggle. Rob?
Who is Elmo?
Elmo, yes, I love Elmo. All right, you're at 4,400, Rob. Magdalene at 3,400. She's in 3rd place, which means, of course, that she selects first in Double Jeopardy. Right after this. All right, Magdalene, if you are ready, and you should be because we're going to begin Double Jeopardy right now. And here are the categories. Finlandia, there's a theme that's going to build here. Maker's Mark. Beefeater. Tanqueray. Patron at the bar. B-A-R in quotation marks. Let's have some fun. Magdalene.
I'll take Maker's Mark for 400.
No bull about it. This brand of adhesive products is represented by the character seen here. Magdalene.
Elmer's? What is Elmer's?
What is Elmer's? Yes.
Maker's Mark for 800.
Design student Carolyn Davidson created the symbol called this for Nike shoes. Chris.
What is the swoosh?
Swoosh, right.
Maker's Mark for 12.
The logo seen here has identified this brand since 1886. Chris.
What is Levi Strauss?
Yes.
Maker's Mark for 16.
This brand of tape uses a tartan trim on its packaging. Chris.
What is Scott's?
No. Magdalene.
What is Scotch?
Scotch tape, yes.
Maker's Mark for 2,000.
This division of Simon & Schuster uses the logo seen here. Magdalene?
What is Pocketbooks?
Yes.
At the bar for 400.
Cleopatra's preferred mode of travel on the Nile. Chris?
What is a barge?
Barge is right.
At the bar for 800.
These crustaceans not only cement themselves to wharves and boat bottoms, but to whales as well. Chris?
What's a barnacle?
Yes.
At the bar for 12.
This period of music lasted from about 1600 to 1750. Rob?
What is Baroque?
Correct.
At the bar, 1600.
Where sugar was once king, now tourism drives the economy in this Caribbean island nation. Chris?
What is Barbados?
Yes.
Finish the category for 2,000.
Answer. One of the daily doubles, and you're in the lead now with 9,000.
$1,020.
All right. Here's the clue. One of the best sellers in its field. Its stock symbol is BKS.
What is Barclays?
No, what is Barnes and Noble? Barnes and Noble. Why the wager of 1,020?
I lost a $20 bill before my trip out here, and I promised my wife I'd put the extra 20 in just to find it.
Pick again, Chris.
Patron for 400.
Nadezhda von Meck gave him 6,000 rubles a year to devote himself to composing, but suddenly cut him off in 1890. Chris.
Who's Tchaikovsky?
He's the one.
Patron for 8.
Ludovico Sforza, a patron of men like Leonardo, gave this northern Italian city Europe's grandest court. Magdalene.
What is Florence?
No. Rob.
What is Vinci?
No. Ludovico Sforza of Milan. Chris, back to you.
Patron for 12.
Answer. The other daily double. Well, now, you did this yesterday, didn't you? Only you let a few clues go between the two daily doubles today. 8,380 is your total at the moment.
1,300.
13 it is. Here's the clue. Harry Kessler, known as the Red Count, was a patron of this Norwegian artist who painted him using lots of red.
Who is Rembrandt?
No. Who is Edvard Munch? Edvard Munch, Norwegian. All right, you're down to 7,080, but you're still in the lead.
Tanqueray for 400.
The first successful attack using tanks occurred during this war at the Battle of Cambrai. Magdalene.
What is World War I?
Right.
Tanqueray for 800.
In this 1950s war, the People's Army at first outgunned the Americans with Soviet-made T-34 tanks. Chris.
What's the Korean War?
Yes.
Tanqueray for 12.
Tanks deployed by this country have included the Kini, the Kito, and the Shinhoto Chiha. Chris.
What is China?
No. Magdalene.
What is Japan?
Japan, yes.
Tanqueray for 1,600.
In the 1980s, this country attacked its foe Iran with vehicles like the T-62. Chris.
What is Iraq?
Iraq is right.
Finish the category for 2,000.
The U.S. Army's M1 Abrams tank replaced the M60 that bore the name of this tank commander. Chris.
What's a Patton?
Yes.
Beefeater for 400.
This dish, sautéed beef, mushrooms, and onions served in a sour cream sauce, is named for a 19th century Russian diplomat. Chris?
What is Stroganoff?
Yes.
Beefeater for 8.
It's the hyphenated name of the beefy cut seen here. Magdalene.
What is T-bone?
T-bone, you got it.
Beefeater for 1,200.
This beefy specialty of Lowry is really rib roast. The misnomer refers to the highest USDA beef grade. Magdalene.
What is choice?
No. Chris.
What is prime?
Prime rib, yes.
Beef eater for 16.
The name of this classic German dish means sour roast, referring to its vinegar marinade. Magdalene.
What is sauerbraten?
Good.
Beef eater for 2,000.
This dry-cured smoked deli meat with a Yiddish name can be made from brisket or round. Chris?
What is pastrami?
Pastrami, yes, that's what it is, with a minute to go.
Finlandia for 400.
The name of this sweat-inducing bath that uses a dry heat is Finnish. Chris?
What is a sauna?
Sauna, yes.
Finlandia for 8.
Finland forms a symbolic northern border between Eastern and Western Europe. To the east is Russia, to the west, these two nations. Magdalene.
Norway and Sweden?
Sorry. Rob.
What are Norway and Sweden?
Yes, Magdalene, you forgot in the double Jeopardy round that you're penalized if you don't phrase it in the form of a question. Rob, go again.
1,200 Finlandia.
Finland has a small population of Sami, a once nomadic people, also called this. Their land is way up north. Chris.
What are the Laps?
The Lapps, yes.
Finlandia for 16.
This city boasts Finlandia Hall, designed by Finnish architect Alvar Aalto. Chris?
What is Helsinki?
Yes.
2,000. Finish the category.
His tone poem, Finlandia, has almost become a national anthem for the Finns. Rob.
Who is Sibelius?
John Sibelius, yes.
A patron for 1,600.
Isabella Stewart Gardner was a patron of artists like John Singer Sargent and an ardent fan of this baseball team. Chris?
Who are the Boston Red Sox?
Oh, yes, you couldn't say it loud enough, could you? Let's take a look at the last clue. In Augustan Rome, Maecenas was a patron of Virgil and this satire's poet. And that poet was Horace. 18,680. Chris. 7,600 for Rob, 8,600 for Magdalene, and this is the final Jeopardy category for today. Movies and dance. We'll have a clue in a moment. Movies and dance category for final Jeopardy. Here's the clue. Derived from other traditional dances and still popular today, the sirtaki was created for this 1964 movie. 30 seconds. Good luck. Rob, we come to you first. You were in third place. You had 7,600, and you wrote down, what is Fiddler on the Roof? Sorry, that's incorrect. It's going to cost you. Yeah, darn. Cost you everything. You're down to 0. Let's go to Magdalene. She had 8,600. Her response was The King and I. Interesting responses. That, too, though, is incorrect. What's the law? 6,601. Looks like you're going to finish in second place. Chris Rodriguez, 18,680. Did he come up with the correct response? He wrote down, what is Zorba? The Greek sirtaki, yes. And your wager? $20. There's that 20 bucks. 18,700. And now a three-day total of 41,498. Way to go. Your wife's going to be happy about the 20. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Promotional consideration provided by